Welcome into our NFL Draft Player Spotlight. Locked On NFL Draft coverage is presented by Ultimate Football GM. If you think you can run an NFL franchise, visit ultimate-gm.com to play the Ultimate NFL GM simulation game. Start your dynasty today. I'm Kainani Stevens here with Daniel Monroe from Locked On Bulldogs, talking all things Bulldogs and the many Bulldogs that are headed to the NFL, hoping to be drafted this year. We're going to talk about Darnell Washington, which for me is one of the most just kind of enigmatic, exciting players, right? Because he is just a massive human and he plays football. And that is just wild to me. Massive in the terms of 6'7", 264, something like that. So what can he be at the next level? Because, I mean, if you're an NFL GM or just anybody looking at the possibilities of what you can do with him, it has to be like kind of like limitless unicorn status.
It is a freak, unicorn, whatever words you want to use to describe him. They don't make people like Darnell Washington. And you see these guys come through every once in a while, and I think he is a guy that will be who he is based on the system that he's in a lot of ways. But I think the thing that has to be most exciting about a guy like Darnell Washington is how high the floor is. The floor for this guy is so incredibly high because he was underused in the pass game at Georgia for his college career because Brock Bowers is a better athlete, a better pass catcher than Darnell Washington. And so Darnell was often underused, and even if he's underused in the NFL and the passing game, the floor on him is so high because he is an exceptional blocker. He is an exceptionally big and athletic and physical guy. You could basically play him as a third tackle in the game, and he is going to operate for you just like that in the run game. Then you can flex him out into space in the screen game, in the short game, and he is an elite downfield, open field blocker. And then when you put the ball in his hands, he can do all those same things while running with the football.
And probably carrying like 4 other people along with him that are trying
we've
to
seen it
tackle him.
many times. We've seen it many times. Yeah.
In terms of, he does a lot of things well. In terms of adapting to the NFL, because he was kind of underutilized, what are some things you think he needs to work on? Does it depend where he ends up, or is it just like some certain things you'd pinpoint that he definitely needs to do?
Yeah, I think you'd call him raw as a route runner. He's gotten better. You know, when a guy is 6'7", 275, he doesn't have to run routes in high school. He doesn't, he's not, even in college, he doesn't really have to run routes. The route is throw Darnell the ball and then watch and see what he does. So, his catch radius, these NFL people use these types of terms. Like his catch radius is insane. It's through the roof. We've seen him make difficult athletic plays. I think he's got good hands. I wouldn't call him raw in terms of catching the football, but he probably is a little raw as a route runner. He probably is more physically gifted as a football player, if that makes sense right now, than he is in terms of like schematically gifted. But I think those are areas that he's only going to continue to grow as he gets more time and is able to develop in a system, just depending on what people at the next level want to do with him.
In terms of a play style, I feel like some of those bigger, tight ends that kind of can carry people along, they end up with a little bit, like a Gronk guy. You get the durability issues, right? Not that just because people are banging into you. Do you see that as a concern for him, or do you think he can kind of adapt around that?
I mean, it could be. It could be a concern. I don't necessarily see it as a concern any more so than I do with any other player, other than the fact that he's not going to go down, as you said, maybe on first contact, and so he's going to get a lot more of that second contact. And maybe some of that second, third contact is where you get some more people rolling up on your legs or something, some freak type of plays where there's just no way that you can be physically strong enough to withstand certain things. If they happen to you, you're going to get injured in the NFL. That being said, as I said earlier, they don't make people like Darnell Washington. He is as physically strong and as well put together as you're going to see a human being be. And so it's not just run over you type of physicality that he brings. He goes by people, he goes around people, he goes over people. We've seen all of that in his college career. He pulls away from people that think they have an angle on him. He is deceptively fast and agile for a guy who, again, is the size of a lot of offensive tackles. And so it's a real weapon that an offensive coordinator is going to have.
You talked about him being a little bit underutilized while he was at Georgia. What kind of system in the NFL? Is there like a team maybe that you think he'd be really good on, or just kind of where would he thrive best?
Yeah, I mean, I think you want to find teams that are going to use the tight end. And so, I don't know, you'd probably know better than I would who that might be in the NFL, but you look at the ways that, the Falcons tried to utilize Kyle Pitts last year. You look at there are some prototypical, very athletic receiver tight ends. And then I think Darnell can be that. He can be a number 2 pass catcher on a team type of weapon. But again, the thing that you don't always get with some of those elite pass catching tight ends, I'm not saying he's going to go out and be, Kelsey or somebody like that, but the thing that you don't get with those guys is the elite A+ level blocking and physicality in the run game and things that you can split him out wide and use him as a lead on a swing pass. You can bring him in tight and crash him down on a defensive end and absolutely destroy a side of the line of scrimmage. And so he's got so much versatility that he's going to see the field way more than he's going to catch the ball. And that's going to be a really positive thing for whatever offense he's on.
Oh, just so unique. I'm very excited to see where he ends up. Obviously, Locked On Bulldogs will have you covered. They will let you know exactly what you're getting in Darnell Washington for your NFL team. All of this is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.